Hi and welcome to another unboxing and first impressions. Today we're unboxing a new model from Christopher Ward called the C65 Aquitaine. This will consist out of three models: a regular automatic, a COSC certified automatic, and the flagship GMT. The COSC certified automatic is going to come in bronze and it's going to cost $1,325. The GMT is $1,350, making it the flagship, and the regular automatic is going to be $1,075. So let's open this one and see which one of the three we got. So opening the box, we come to the regular Christopher Ward packaging, and this is actually the second Christopher Ward I review. The last one was the Sealander GMT done in white with the orange accents. So let's slide this out one way or another, like so. Inside we have this rubberized and very heavy wooden/rubber box. We slide that out, and here we have the cloth, we have the user manual, and we have the warranty card. So let's move all that away and get to the watch. And yup, let me just open the clasp. We got the GMT again, and I wanted a GMT for one simple reason, because the last one, the Sealander that I reviewed, was kind of a sports everyday watch and a modern take on a GMT. This one is inspired by vintage GMT watches, and you can clearly see that bit with this bezel. Look, it kind of reminds us of those vintage bakelite bezels, but this one is done with sapphire, as you would expect on a modern watch, making it virtually scratch proof. And you have a sapphire crystal which is highly domed, almost a boxed sapphire, creating a very thin looking watch. And this one is actually 12.75 millimeters thick, making it very thin for an automatic GMT, while the automatic ones are I believe 12.45. Now this is bigger than the Sealander, which was I believe 39. This one is 41. But this one also has this rotating bezel, and it kind of shrinks the dial because of these distortions that you get from the crystal. So I believe this is going to wear just as good as the Sealander. Also, they kind of changed the case, their light catcher case as they call it, by shortening the lugs on this model to I believe 46 point something millimeters, which should mean that it should sit perfectly on my 6.7 inch wrist. So let's test that right away by putting it on my wrist. I did love the Sealander, it was perfectly sized for my wrist. This has more of a diver look because of the rotating bezel, and as you can see, it is on the border of being too big, but because this is a diver type watch, it actually does look okay, and it does look very thin. It has kind of a thinner, I don't know how to call it, look than the Sealander. The Sealander probably wasn't much thicker, but it kind of looked chunkier because it was smaller and had that bezel. The bezel was pretty thick. On this one, it kind of appears very thin, and I do love what they do with these end links. The bracelet also has a taper. It's solid links, solid end links. I believe these are held with screws, and has the same clasp as the Sealander. So machined trigger release, and a sliding ratcheting system for on-the-fly adjustment, which is something I always love. You can see the movement, the Sellita SW330-2 behind, covered with a sapphire, so you can enjoy it if you want. Overall, a very cool watch. The case is pretty much the same, only the bezel is different, but this is, like I said, a slightly bigger and shorter case. I do love what they do with this combination of brushed and finished and polished surfaces, and I do like the way these things wear. The dial on this one is, I believe, called Sand or something like that, and it comes with this marine blue bezel. The bezel is bidirectional, and it has 120 clicks, so you can track 3 time zones with this one. You can do one with the GMT hand, and then by rotating the bezel and aligning it at 12 with a different time zone, you can track a 3rd time zone as well. Now these are not traveler GMTs, which is something I explained with the Sealander, because here you can independently adjust the GMT hand rather than the hour hand. If you could adjust the hour hand, then it would be a traveler's GMT where you can change the time zone, and without stopping the minutes and the seconds, you would just change the time zone. But on this, you actually change the GMT hand. So when you change the time zone, you have to stop the movement to change the main time, and then just put this back to your home time. Okay, let me just wind it to get it going. It does come with hacking, and as you can see, here you have to stop the movement to get the hour hand to move. Then once you adjust to your new time zone, you pull it out to the first click, and one side is going to change the date while the other one is going to change the GMT hand, like so. Still very cool and very affordable for a mechanical GMT, but like I said, it's not a true traveler's GMT. It's more for people who do business with someone abroad. So you're at home, you track your home time, but you want to know what your business partner time zone is, and then you just adjust the GMT hand so you know when to call him. Very cool. Anyways, like I said, this is just the unboxing and first impressions. So what I wanted to do lastly is do a loom shot and then bid you farewell, because I will be doing a full review with macro shots and everything to see how well this is made. The Sealander proved to be very well made. It did have some dust particles and some uneven edges on the hands, but that was only visible under extreme macro. I wonder if this one is better or the same. And look at this shine of this very domed crystal. This really does have a vintage look to it because of the way the bezel and the crystal play with the light. It is a beautiful watch. Okay, let me just charge the loom and we'll be right back. Okay, with the loom charged, let me zoom in, let the camera focus, and it's time to turn off the light. There we go, and the loom again is outstanding. Definitely sand colored loom has improved over the years. They're no longer those weak looms where you sacrifice nighttime visibility to have that vintage faux patina style. They're definitely on par with modern, I don't know, C1 loom. Maybe C3 is still stronger, but C1 is definitely not stronger than this loom. And you can clearly see here the bezel, the 24-hour bezel, the dive styled dial, and you can clearly see the GMT hand. Very readable, very easy, and very cool looking. It does glow blue on camera and in person. I really do like this one. It really does get that vintage feel and look to it. If it was slightly smaller, it would be even more vintage, but I understand why they went with this, because they want a modern size. And look how well the hands and the markers play with the light as well. Very nice. It has a very warm hue and a very warm look to it. Anyways, that's it when it comes to this unboxing and first impressions. Stay tuned for the full review, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.